It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
In the swamp. Put them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Come out, you yellow bastard!
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
I'm done with you! Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that! Dead man!
Point being, I was under serious attack.
If I'm dead, so are you. You're dead. Ain't no thing to hide from me. I'm gonna blow your damn head off. I'm still standing. Just like pissing me off.
My reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Just kill him, for Christ's sake! Oh, you would tonight, boy. Not from dynamite! Oh. God, bitch! Put a bullet in him!
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running from the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve!
Huh? No, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides. And so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Stop that, son of a...
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. Pandas breed like rabbits. Smiths or Hoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Goddamn bounty hunter! Can't beat us all! There he is!
What in tarnation?
You can't get me! In for the kill! You ain't bothering me none! Death is too good for him! Keep shooting, I don't mind. Him in the crossfire. It's about ratted up. I'm ending you. If I'm dead, so are you. You ready for a belly full of buckshot? I'm still standing.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern-wheeler or a side-wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Shoot that asshole! Tim do not deserve to die like that!
Get out here!
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Dynamite for assholes who can't shoot!
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in
Did you hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway...
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Bury him! Kill that bastard! Kill Greaves! Somebody drop back! You won't get away with this! Hell, that's great! Nobody can do it! I'm okay.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge.
Well, I
that
made
son
my way
of a
off
bitch?
unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
I'm putting you
From there, I
down.
had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of them. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Right here! Oh! God damn him to hell! Oh!
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights, but I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway, so I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could. At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back. I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? Okay.
Cover! Retreat! Retreat!
He's killing everybody.
You ain't seen the likes of me.
He'll kill us all.
It's time to end this. A wounded criminal.
Gonna scalp your.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on Bob's trail.
Run! If you want to live!
Wise ass thing.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that. I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked
Someone's
those
coming.
boys to a camp
Who the
right
hell's
outside
that?
Parachute, Colorado.
Somebody really pissed this son of a bitch off!
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
I'm ending you!
I got lots more bullets.
Die! God damn him to hell!
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts. And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. Like I said, I made it a point to remove that dynamite. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. God damn it! What the hell?
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure. Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
That asshole just killed Red? What? Can't hear you.
Give it up now, and I'll let you go!
Why is that son of a bitch still standing? Jesus Christ! If we don't kill him, he'll kill us!
dead. Sword.
So what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope. I hope you understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress.
Let's do this!
I guess you just want to die.
Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
You just brought hell down on me. You must like pissing me off.
Why don't somebody shoot him?
Now you're in. Die! They shot Bill! Oh, no, that was just too damn close.
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't going to work. I needed an alternate path forward. Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer.
Get off the bridge! Get off the bridge!
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Who the hell is that guy? He's crazy! Hurry, ass me!
Nuttier than a damn...
He's crazier than Kid Curry, ass me!
This guy dangerous than a damn fruitcake. Reload! This some bitch is pissing me off! Put that back door!
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
He's crazier than a shithouse rat!
Had enough? You can't beat me!
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
This is the last mistake you'll ever make! Lay down and die! Do you know who I am? Show yourself, you coward! Damn! This is the last mistake you'll ever make! I'm gonna need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this sumbitch out!
Leave him to me!
Get out of here! Stand still so I can kill you! Are you kidding me? Move it, boys! Lay down and die!
You're gonna have to do better than that.
You can't beat me!
Now you're in for it.
Come out, you yellow bastard! Do you know who I am? It's not fair! This is the last mistake you'll ever make! Beat fat bastard! Give me a
Eventually,
hand
I
here,
brought that tunnel
goddammit!
down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
This is gonna hurt.
fast as he was. I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me, "Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him." Those were his last words.
Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday. I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
You must like pissing.
Now, wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this. They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
The James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
You maniac!
Beef him!
just kill Red?
Come and get me, you got the guts! I'm getting the hang of it!
You ain't seen that. Die!
Anyway, where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better.
Coming back.
Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some son of a bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkerton!"
It's a damn thing!
Now, I never worked for that limelight stuff, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. There's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
You don't want to mess with us!
Don't like to know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
That's right! Run! Asshole don't know who he's up against!
Just stop! Ah!
Shoot that stupid son of a bitch! I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
I did not stop!
I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Well, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
You're dead. Ah, damn, this takes a while. You're done. Mano, amigo. Get out! Ah! Shit! Right here! Show yourself, coward!
Just kill Red? Kill that You can't fight James, gang!
I can't hear you!
Shoot that stupid son of a bitch! Kill that pissant!
This sumbitch is loco! What? Can't hear you! You see that?
You know who we are!
How you like that?
Goddamn law dog! I was looking for kills and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself.
You ain't seen the likes of me. It's time to end this. Death is coming.
There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day. You don't want to mess with us! It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle. After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. A perfect place to hide out from the authorities.